wanna get it, man. Get your tail, it's a different lane. When you playing for the winning team, RP to Mr. Wayne's. Bang, bang, we gon' win the game. Core crank, hit you with your pain.
I be spitting real, you be spitting backwash, yeah. So I'ma have to ask you all to back off. Hitters in my DMs try to hit me with the caps lock, cause I'm always beasting on the camera like the Sasquatch. Waiting till I blow, y'all gon' see me blast off, yeah. And y'all gon' see in front like they...
Hey guys, Bobby here. Can we have a real conversation?
You guys will be able to see that this, so that I make sure I get everything clean. All right.
Well, hello.
Hello, Chris.
How are you, Bobby?
I'm good. A little tired today, but other than that, hanging in there.
Yeah, it's definitely felt like a Monday. I don't know about you.
Yeah, definitely. I had a lot going on today. So
Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. Very special guest, as you can see right in front of me. This is Bobby Sorensen. Did I say that correctly?
Yep.
Very good. Very good. Bobby is a special guest because he wears many hats in this industry. And I'm so excited to talk to him tonight about the many hats that he wears. In fact, if you look at the screen there underneath his name, he gives you just a little synopsis of those many hats. What do we have there? Customer service rep for Thor, detailer of your own. You are also a teacher because you educate people in the field of detailing. Bobby, how many years have you been detailing or in the industry, would you say?
Well, I've been telling people 25 plus, but I actually thought about it today because I was trying to remember back to when I first started. And I started in 1996 was my first detailing job. So I'm really close to 3 decades now. So
wow. 1996. Let's see.
Yeah.
How old was I? No, I won't age myself. Awesome. So again, thank you guys for being here. I see a lot of familiar faces in the chats. Excited for you guys to talk with us tonight. Tomorrow is July 1st. Can you believe that?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
July 1st. I don't know about you, but this year has already flown.
It has for me. Starting the new job, especially it's made everything kind of just shoot, and I've got a lot of life stuff going on. So yeah, it's flown by. It seems like winter was just a second ago.
Yeah, it's funny. My son's birthday is tomorrow, July 1st. And then my daughter's birthday is Christmas Eve. I have a Christmas Eve baby. But around this time, it's like clockwork. His birthday, July 1st, is when my daughter starts talking about her birthday, right? And I'm like, girl, we have not even gotten through 4th of July, and I'm already thinking about Christmas. But, it's funny because every year before I know it, I'm then planning her birthday. And I feel like I'm at that point where I blink and all of a sudden, all of the Thanksgiving decorations are in stores, and then it's Christmas trees, and then hello to the new year. It's crazy, right?
It is crazy. Yeah. Yeah. This time of year, winter is always cold and bad. And I'm always like, I can't wait for summer. And then summer gets here and it's 90 degrees and 85% humidity. And I'm like, can fall get here just so it can cool off a little bit?
Yeah, I'm the complete opposite. I absolutely hate the heat. I wish I lived where it snowed, and people who live where it snows tells me I'm crazy. I think Becca's in the chat. She'd probably tell me I was crazy.
Oh no, I love the snow. Yeah.
Yeah, I would just rather be shivering and freezing. I hate to sweat. So, and not to mention summer is my summer break, from teaching.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes by quick. But then it doesn't, because I start seeing these triple temps, and I'm like, oh goodness, get me back to school where it's about to be fall. I'm okay with that.
I'll be honest, winter can be tough here in Ohio but if I have a choice between detailing in winter and detailing in summer heat like it is right now, I'll take the winter every time.
Oh yeah. I would too, definitely. So we have a lot to talk about tonight. I am really excited to get to know you a little bit better and to get to know all of the things that you do in your daily life, including this new job that you've taken on. But before we get there, I know you've been on other podcasts before. You were just on Eddie and Jamie's podcast not too long ago.
Yeah.
But I don't know if, and maybe it's just me, maybe I wasn't listening. I am known to do that sometimes. I need to know though, who is detail oriented? Where do you hail from? How did you get here? You mentioned we were behind before this began. We were kind of, behind the scenes talking about you jumping around, having some businesses in different areas. Just let me know a little bit about who Bobby is, and then we'll get into the nitty gritty.
Yeah, I started my detailing career in my 20s. I started with nobody will know it, but it was called Car Audio, and it was a place that sold radios, did alarm installations back in the 90s. It was a big thing, but they did detailing and stuff too. So that's where I got my start. Then I worked for a dealership. I was a valet, doing detailing at a dealership, which isn't really detailing. Started my own business in Washington, and then moved to Kingman, Arizona. And I had a detailing business in Kingman for about 2 years.
Okay.
Houston, detailed in Houston for a good 5 years. I lived in Wisconsin, and I didn't really have a quote unquote detailing business there, but I still, I've detailed my whole life. So, friends, neighbors, I was still doing it. And then got here to Ohio and wanted to come up with a different name that I hadn't done before. And I'm very detail oriented. And so
aren't we all?
That's where detail oriented was born. So
I love it. So you hopped around quite a bit. You're talking about having businesses. Are we talking brick and mortars or mobile detailing, or what kind of businesses would?
Most of it was mobile detailing.
Okay.
Up until I got here in Ohio. And then I've had a large shop here in Ohio. And then I had some health stuff that popped up, and I wanted to shut that down. And so now I'm just out of my own garage.
Okay.
Mobile. So I just do everything here at home. But yeah, I've done everything. I've done mobile. I've had a very good sized shop, and then, just a small little place.
Yeah. So you, aside from detailing, and you're not mobile, you're out of your garage. Do you still have consistent customers coming to you? Or do you have a clientele base?
I have a pretty good sized clientele right now because I'm really well known in my town. But I'll be honest, I don't want to dive into it too much, but I'm having a lot of health issues.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So my detailing has slowed down quite a bit by my own choosing. So I have a set of basically maintenance clients that I'm catering to now. And I'll still, if somebody reaches out to me, I definitely will try to work somebody in. But yeah, I'm kind of slowing down. I'm progressing more towards, I'm focusing on Thor, and I want to focus on my teaching. So I really want to start putting some more effort into my YouTube channel and teaching there, because that's my heart, Christy. I love this industry. And I'm not just saying that, I really do. Ask my mentees, some of them will be in the chat. I have a passion for this industry. That's why I feel like I'm so blessed to work for Thor.
Yes.
And because I get to continue doing what I absolutely love and still be a part of the industry, even though it's getting harder and harder for me to really do the physical detailing of it anymore. So.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. So you are now a CSR, or customer service rep, for Thor. Yeah. How long have you been in this position?
I have to stop and think about it. It's maybe coming up on a month and a half, 2 months now.
So it is rather.
It is still rather new, yeah. But I mean, Eddie and Jamie can answer it more than I can, but I feel like I've fit right in, and I'm feeling comfortable now. So it doesn't feel I don't feel like I'm new now. I feel like I'm worked in, and I know what I'm doing, and trying to do my best to help everybody that reaches out to us. So
yeah, so that actually is a perfect segue into my next, I guess not really a question, but what is the typical day and customer service at Thor look like? What is this? This is kind of like that. I don't know if I want to say white elephant in the room, but we have everybody and their moms at this point seem to have something to say, right? Whether it's positive or negative. But one thing I can say is that customer service, I don't care who it is nothing but positive. Like there have been people, in on Facebook and forums who have, had issues, but not one person have I heard or have I read say their customer service sucks. Like the one thing that I think Thor can literally say 125% is that their customer service from day one has literally been on point. And so now you're a part of that, which is pretty amazing. So what does it look like? What does the customer service look like for you?
Well, I actually kind of get to wear all kinds of hats. I mean, it's really, really nice. I get to help educate customers if they have questions on products. If they're having any sort of issues, we can help them. We answer emails, answer phones, answer online chat. I help with order issues that pop up. We deal with emails, and that's a mixed bag. If somebody forgot to put something on their order, then I help them get it added. If they have questions, what products should I get? What do I need to do? This, and this. It's kind of everything, and it's a lot of fun. And I'm customer service oriented anyway, Christy. I feel like that's why I've succeeded in this industry, is because that has always been my focus, is customer service. So no matter what job I've held, that's my focus has always been customer service. So it's just second nature for me. So I mean, it's a lot of fun. And like I said, it's part of the industry that I love. So even if somebody's frustrated, I'm just trying to reach out and help them. And that really makes the job easy.
Yeah. It's kind of one of those things. I worked in retail for like a small portion. I mean, like maybe 6 months, but it was that whole idea that the customer is always right, or at least you try to treat him that way. Do you feel like that's the same niche or the same regimen you follow?
Yeah. I mean, but it's more than that. How do I put this?
Put it in the way you want.
I know, I'm going to be honest. I feel completely blessed to be part of the Thor team. And I'm not just saying that. I'm not trying to pump anybody up. But honestly, Eddie and Jamie are like family. And I know their hearts. They are in this industry to help people. And, I think a lot of people don't realize that they think that they're just trying to make money or whatnot. That's not their heart. They're trying to help everybody. Yeah. And I feel blessed beyond belief to be a part of that team. I wouldn't be working here if I didn't feel that strongly. And I really do. They're family. They're not just, this isn't just a job for me. They're not just my employer. They're my family.
Yeah. I love that. And just for funsies, Chris M says, Bobby, where's my order? I'm just about to place it. Oh yeah. Isn't that all the rage? I love that when, people on Facebook are like, I ordered last night and it's not here. What's going on?
That's the Amazon culture. Everybody's used to instant gratification.
Really, I totally believe that. I think Amazon has killed the patience in people. And I will not lie, I might be one of them. It is. You get so accustomed to getting that package next day if you need it. But come on, people. It's been quite frankly funny listening to some of people's gripes. Like,
yeah, I mean, I try to just be understanding. I know where it comes from, and I just do my best to explain to them, that how the system works and what we're trying to do, and help them the best I can and help them get through it.
Yeah. So what are the most common questions or concerns that you get in the detailing space, either from customer service, people who are calling you about Thor, maybe in your own detailing, space? What are the most common questions you get from people?
I don't know if there is the most common, at least, for Thor. It spreads across the board. Personally, I'm even with my customers. I think some of you have seen my sign of, what my business is about. So I'm not just a detailing business. I detail, I sell some detailing products, and I consult. So part of my thing, and where I'm probably a little bit different than a lot of detailers, is I not only detail my customers' cars, but I teach them how to maintain it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Yeah.
I try to make their life easier. The products that I use when I'm trying to protect their cars, it's so that they can maintain it easier.
Yeah.
And some people may say, well, you're taking business away from yourself. I don't see it that way.
Yeah.
If I can help them maintain it in between them seeing me every 3 to 6 months, then that makes my job easier and I'm serving the customer. So, I guess the most common question is just, how do I do this? How do I do this? What product do I use?
Yeah.
What's the proper procedure for this? So, I mean,
And so do you get those questions quite, because to be honest with you, I maybe never really thought about that side of the customer service, especially in the detailing space. So you get people who will email you and say,
yes.
how do I use Ragnarok? How do
Yes.
I use
Yep.
Really? Okay.
I feel like sometimes it's even overboard. Like they want us to teach them how to do everything. But it's cool. I'm happy to do it. But yeah, it happens a lot, especially in chat and on the phones. I had one this weekend where, I'm not going to go into details with anybody, but
No.
I spent an hour on the phone with them, walking them through how to do some stuff. So
Oh, wow. So now I know who to call when I'm having issues.
I'm happy to do it. That's one of the things that I love. I love sharing my knowledge. And people may not always agree with my opinions on things,
Yeah.
but I'm just going to share what I've learned and let them make their own decisions. So
Yeah. No, that really is something interesting though. And again, I'm baffled here for some reason. I don't know why, but again, because I'm thinking that the only part of customer service is just to email when something goes wrong with the package or when an order is missing. But I forget about the side of it that's really for help when it comes to a product.
Yep.
That
I mean, some will ask, what product should I get? Some will say, how do I use this particular product?
Yeah.
So it's I guess it's a benefit, but it's also a little bit of a stress for me. I'm having to learn all of our products.
Okay, so that was where I was going here. So, you have to have the knowledge then about all of the products that are underneath Thor.
I do. Yeah.
And right now there's quite a bit. So what do you have? Do you have a book? I mean,
No,
how are you
you know
learning?
what? I'm going to be honest. It's a mix. So I'm getting a lot of products on my own and testing them because that's who I am. I
Yeah.
don't like to recommend something unless, I know it well and I don't want to give wrong information. So I'm working my butt off trying to learn all these products, but I'll do what a lot of you guys do too. I'm going on and watching Jamie and Eddie's videos
Yeah.
and, other reviews, and I'm reading the information on the websites so that if I'm not super familiar, at least I have a base knowledge of that particular product so that I can help. Because I'm not one to say, if you call and you ask about Ragnarok and I've never used it, I'm not going to say, well, just do this, because I actually want to provide proper help to you. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Paul brings up kind of a cool point here. He says new labels with QR codes to YouTube videos, which actually isn't a bad idea.
No, I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, I know Eddie and Jamie are in here. I don't know if that's something that's coming. I know labels are expensive, and I know having to redo labels is not an easy thing always.
It's not easy. No, I mean, there's a lot of behind the scenes besides just, printing new labels. There's, there's making sure everything is right, proofreading it like 3 times over, and trying to appeal to what people want. There's a lot of work behind the scenes, and that's something I don't think a lot of people give Eddie and Jamie enough credit for. How much work this is behind the scenes. It's not just an easy thing. Those guys work crazy hours. I mean, and it just amazes me how they still put out videos. They still do, all that stuff. And they are awesome. And I give them kudos with how much work they put in. So
yeah. In fact, I just asked Eddie today, he was talking about, he has 18 and more cars that he's doing, just in July of his own on top of everything else. And
on top of everything else, I don't know how that man does it. I certainly couldn't.
Crazy. Eddie says the labels were written by Jamie. So if anybody has a question, it's Jamie. It was Jamie's fault. No, I'm just kidding, Jamie. all love over here. But yeah, definitely though. Do you direct them to YouTube videos? Is that
Yeah.
something that,
Oh yeah. I mean, if I can't feel like that, I'm pretty good with my words. I'm really good at typing out stuff. I can type fast, but I do a couple of things different to try to help. I make probably more phone calls than than a lot of people might expect, because I feel like talking to somebody, I can walk them through a lot better talking to them. But
yeah,
on the flip side of that, if they don't know how to do it and I've typed it out and they're still confused, then yeah, I will, I know a lot of the videos by heart anyway, but I'll
yeah,
hop on, I'll say, hey, check out this video and see if
yeah,
this helps you, and then get
yeah,
back with me if it doesn't, and I'll,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah. And maybe Paul, again, is kind of onto something as well. Maybe not having to redo the labels, but I've seen some companies who will put in like a little, 3x5 card, that has QR codes on it, maybe for the product. So if somebody buys, such and such product, then those QR code cards go in there that lead you to a video, because then you wouldn't have to redo labels. I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm
That,
just,
that would be
I'm
an Eddie and Jamie
brainstorming
thing.
here.
So not a bad idea though.
Yeah, not a bad idea. I'm just thinking of ways, to make your jobs easier. Again, if you are, how many phone calls, emails, how many inquiries would you say you get in a day or a week
And
about how do
well,
you, or
so
how
I
do
work
you,
weekends, so it's a little bit slower than during the week. Ivan's the guy that really works his tail off, especially Mondays. I feel for the man. Um, I can't give exact numbers, but I would say on average right now we're doing 300 plus orders a day.
yeah,
So
that's
just imagine
and,
the volume
and
of calls, emails, and
yeah,
stuff related to that. So
yeah,
it's a lot. It's a lot.
yeah, that is absolutely crazy. Sorry, I have to go back here because this is kind of funny. Rick's comment: if I have trouble with the detail code label, I'll text Eddie, then realize the label is easier to read. We love you, Eddie. Sometimes his text messages are a little iffy, though. Sometimes I'm like, what?
Eddie, no,
I
Eddie's
love
awesome, but Eddie's
I love
very
it.
direct. So a lot of times it's just a quick response, and he's not meaning to be rude or
No, not at
anything,
all.
but he's just right to the
No.
point because he's so busy.
Yeah. Oh
That's
no.
just how Eddie is.
I try not to bug him if I can help it, to be honest with you.
I, I,
I totally get it.
Eddie will verify this. I bug him too much sometimes, but it's just because my heart is to always help. And if I have a question, even just a little bit, if it's how he would want me to do it, I'm messaging him and asking him.
Yeah. Yeah, no. So recently you did a garage audit with Yvan.
Yes, we did.
How did that go?
I thought it was awesome. It was actually the second time that I've actually got to spend time with Yvan in person.
Okay.
I've
That's what I
known
was
him
gonna
for
ask if you've met him
yeah,
before.
I've known him for a long time, and we've had miscellaneous contact. I first met him in it's like 2016, 2017. I went to SEMA. That's the last time I've actually been to SEMA. But I went to SEMA, and him and Mike Phillips were there doing some stuff, and I got to meet him then and talk to him. That was really when I was just starting to get into Rinseless wash, because I've been doing Rinseless wash for 10 years now.
Yeah.
And so I was trying to pick his brain, and he was awesome back then, and it's just like he always is. He's always willing to help people. That's something that I've always appreciated about Yvan. So
yeah. Again, and I've said this before, I was so hoping he would get to my garage. It didn't work out this time because he did come to California. It probably he would have had to spend a week in order to help me with my garage. I think yours was a lot more organized than mine is, that's for sure.
The man's a wealth of knowledge, though.
But,
he's always so willing to share,
Yeah.
and that's just awesome.
Yeah.
So.
Speaking of tonight, you guys, we actually have something pretty special. I'm not going to tell you exactly what it is yet, but there is a huge giveaway that Bobby is graciously sponsoring, if you will, which will happen a little bit towards the end of the show. I will keep this down to an hour. I know Bobby is ahead of me in terms of time. And again, it's a Monday. I want to respect everybody's time so that they can be with their families. But again, it is a huge giveaway, and it has something to do with Yvan's garage audit in his garage. So I'm going to give you that as a little precursor. But yeah, and David says, I'm better off doing the audit after Jeff from Improved Garage comes and helps me out. And I totally agree, David. Hopefully Jeff will make my garage look a little better. I'll tell you, I love it because it's mine. And I've said it last, I think, podcast. It's the humble beginnings, like it's nothing special, but it works for me. So
I had people comment on the garage audit thing that it was nice, but they said, what a nice garage. And I honestly don't think my garage is anything special. I mean, but it works for me. And that's all that matters.
Yeah. No, and that's what I totally love. Like everybody's garage is their own space. You know what it is? It feels good. Feels good going in my garage, even if my pressure washer is sitting on a bucket dolly that I roll.
No, that's my retreat. That's where I go. When I'm testing products or I just need retreat time. I'm also a believer. I'll crank on Christian music, and that's just where I spend some time with me and Dad, and that's just my relaxing. I go out and clean my wife's car all the time, and because that's just my zen. That's just where I get some peace. I can tune out the rest of the world and just focus on what I love doing.
No. So I'm going to call you something here, and I don't mean to take this name away from Eddie, so Eddie, forgive me, but I'm wondering if you're the real Rinseless king, because Rinseless is your thing. True, Bobby?
It's very true. Probably most people will disagree with a lot of my views on Rinseless because I've been doing it for 10 years now, and I wouldn't say I'm the Rinseless king, but I'm very Rinseless focused. Let's just put it that way.
So let's talk about it. And I know Humberto's already shouting out Rinseless gang here. Absolutely. I definitely love a Rinseless. We talked about this a little bit. I would probably call myself more of like the hybrid because I still enjoy the foam. That's why I really love Loki. But let's talk about Rinseless. What do you love about Rinseless? Why for 10 years has Rinseless been your thing?
So I guess I kind of fall into the Yvan camp a little bit. Rinseless is just very efficient. It makes your life so much easier. It saves on product cost. It saves on time. And I'm sorry, my cat just came screaming in here, so that distracted me for a minute. And Rinseless will do a lot more work than I think most detailers, not all. I think some are starting to catch on, but Rinseless will do a lot more work than most people give it credit for. I do entire details many times with just Rinseless wash, and I think people are still shocked over it. So
yeah. Well, Chris M is saying here, I have black GM paint. He doesn't trust Rinseless. What do you say to him about that?
I've done many GM black vehicles. I own a black Toyota truck, and I'm telling you, you just need to try it. If you use the right product, use proper technique, I guarantee you're not going to do damage. In fact, I'm going to say something that I think will be a little controversial. Okay.
That's okay.
I think Rinseless wash is actually safer than soap and water wash. And I'll argue that with anybody.
All right. So that's interesting. You think Rinseless is safer?
Yes, absolutely. 100%. No questions asked.
Why?
It really comes down to the technology in it now. There's at least the Rinseless that I like. So I prefer a hybrid style Rinseless. Okay. There's many different types of Rinselesses. I've written all kinds of articles on this, and I don't want to make this podcast super long.
Well, that's okay.
But the hybrid Rinseless contains surfactants and polymers that no, I'm not lying, Chris, I promise. The combination of the type of surfactants that are used, which are non-ionic surfactants in Rinselesses, and the polymers together actually create more lubrication than regular soap and water. At least most of them. There's a lot of different soaps out there now too, but if you use the right technique, I'm telling you, it's actually safer.
Okay, so you just said non-ionic?
Yeah, non-ionic surfactants. It's just a type of surfactant that's used.
I was going to say, what does that mean in layman's terms?
It's just the type of surfactants, but they're more lubricious than a lot of the other types. So
okay.
And then in hybrids, you've got polymers that also are there. Some are there to add protection, and I don't use those rinselesses very often, but most of them are there to give you extra lubrication during the wash.
Yeah, because the polymers make it more slick, right?
Yeah, it makes it more slick.
It makes it slick.
And so if you use proper technique, okay, we're not taking Rinseless and trying to wash a muddy vehicle.
Okay.
If it's just like a regular soap and water wash, if you've got a lot of grime on the vehicle, what are you going to do? You're going to either pre-foam it. You like doing hybrid style. That's awesome. If you love your foam, do a pre-foam, then you're going to rinse it very, very thoroughly. That's going to pull off all of the grit that is on the paint. Really, the only thing left after that is traffic film.
Okay.
So there's nothing really there to easily mar the surface. And if you use a rinseless, you actually have more lubrication to do the contact wash afterwards. And then you can move straight to the dry phase. So it's super safe.
Okay. So are you one to pre-spray without anything on the car, or will you foam first?
It really depends on the condition of the vehicle. If it's very, very dirty, then I will either pre-foam, or I may just start with just rinseless. In my opinion, rinseless, especially, there's one that I'm really partial to. I'm going to give a shout out to Eddie. Nemesis is my absolute my favorite rinseless wash. So seriously, I see it do almost as well as a dedicated pre-wash.
Okay.
You put Nemesis on the surface, you let it sit for a few minutes, you rinse it off, pre-spray with Nemesis again, go to your contact wash, and I guarantee you I'm going to clean any vehicle just as good as you will, faster, safer, and get the job done than any other product that you would use. And yes, okay, so I do need to qualify everything, guys. Okay. Yes, I work for Thor, all right? However, any opinion that I share here today is my own opinion. And so I'm not representing Thor when I share these opinions. So anyway, but that's my opinion, and I'll argue it with anybody. But this is what I teach. Do what works for you. There's no right or wrong way to detail. The reason I'm a big rinseless fanatic, I guess, is it boils down to ask my mentees. When I teach my mentees, my number one rule in detailing is to use the least aggressive method possible that gets the job done. And I think rinseless is that.
Okay.
It's safe, not aggressive, and it'll get the job done in 90% of the situations.
Okay. And you are using Rinseless. What about, so one thing that I've often had trouble with, and maybe it's just me, maybe it's my technique, but my car, and I'll be the first to say this, I don't wash my car like every Friday or every week. I just don't. And I go through really rural areas, and I have stuck on bug guts like you would not believe. Like they just literally melt into my grill. And sometimes I have a really hard time getting them off with just a rinseless. So what do you do in those situations?
There's lots of products out there that you can use besides, but rinseless will get it done. So what I would tell you, Christy, is when you pre-soak the front and make that your last area that you contact wash. Dwell time makes all the difference in the world.
Yes. And I just don't think I'm patient enough sometimes.
Yeah. Well, none of us are. I mean, that's why so many detailers, I think, use such harsh chemicals sometimes. It's because all of us want to be as fast as possible. They want that one wipe, I'm done. And I just don't always think that that's the best process to do. But, that's just my opinion.
Yeah. And, I totally agree with that. I love being out there, but especially like, when I'm making a video, I'm kind of more concerned about the video than doing the actual wash. And I want things that show that they work in the video quickly so I can get it done.
So I was talking with one of my mentees yesterday, I think it was, and we were having a little debate, and I told him what I was going to share today is I'm starting to be of the opinion, and this will be controversial too, but we have all of these high pH pre-soaks for vehicles.
Yeah.
And there's definitely a time and a place for those. But no product is going to get your vehicle 100% clean, touchless. Okay. The work is done during the contact wash, right?
Yeah, I
Do you agree with
that.
me on that?
I absolutely
Okay.
agree.
So, in my opinion, in most situations, I think the high pH pre-soak, there's exceptions, but I think that it's not needed. Rinseless will do just as good of a job. If you pre-spray it, you let it dwell, you rinse it very, very well. No, is the panel going to look clean after that first rinse? No, it's not. You use a high pH, pre-soak, and you go to rinse it, and it's going to look cleaner than it will with rinseless. But by the time I do my contact wash, it's going to be just as clean.
So you said Nemesis was one of your favorites.
It's my absolute favorite.
Or your absolute favorite. What are a couple of others? There were a few people asking, do you have any others that?
Yeah, there's lots of good ones out. I'll kind of give you my preference in order, but it's, you use what works for you. And people have different preferences in rinselesses even. Some people like the surfactant base, some people like the polymer base, but in order, I would say my favorite is Nemesis is number 1. DIY Detail would probably be my number 2. ADS Heroes, pretty good. That would be in my, like number 3-ish range. Trying to think what would be. FenLab V3 would be up there. It cleans really, really well. I'm just not a fan of the smell, so that's why it's a little further down on my list. But I guess that would be my top 3 or 4.
Yeah. What do you think about Loki? Somebody's asking in here. George is curious.
Okay, so Loki has grown on me. It is a phenomenal cleaner. Absolutely phenomenal. It would be my favorite if it wasn't for one thing. I'm not big on foam, and that's just a personal choice. When I'm doing a rinseless, I like to see the panel. I like to see that I'm where I'm cleaning and that I've gotten everywhere. And so the foam to me obscures that. So I actually use Loki now, but Loki's my pre-soak. So I will pre-foam with Loki as my pre-soak, rinse it down, and then I use Nemesis for my contact wash.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Loki's phenomenal.
Yeah, Loki. I don't know if Eddie and Jamie knew what a banger of a product they had with Loki. Did you guys? I know you guys are in here. I feel like that was one of those that just kind of came in and took the cake. It was just really good.
I didn't. I'll be honest. I wasn't keen to use it in the beginning, but Eddie said, "Try it." I'm like, all right, and it grew on me really, really fast.
Yeah. I think, like I said, I think it's still kind of underrated. I know people know about it, but I don't know. I think the foam kind of scares people, the foaming rinseless. I don't know. Do you think, thinking about hybrid washes, how many people are really doing hybrid washes? Or are we just, using soap? Or are we just using rinseless? Some people would argue that the whole hybrid wash idea is kind of nonsense because.
No, I don't think it's nonsense.
Yeah. I don't either, but I'm just saying I've read that in a lot of,
Yeah. So here's where I kind of come down with foam. I'm not a foam guy, but I detailed for a long time in Houston, and in summer here it can be bad. Foam has its advantages. If you've got a vehicle that is absolutely hammered, just caked in bugs, dirt, all that other stuff. If you foam first, what's foam do? It gives you a much longer dwell time.
Yeah.
That's the key benefit right there. If you just spray rinseless on and let it sit in hot weather, it's going to evaporate right off. It's not going to cause any damage because rinseless reactivates really, really easy.
Yeah.
But you don't get that dwell time to where foam gives you that dwell time. So I think a hybrid wash is, almost perfect, but I also think people do it when it's not necessarily needed. So
maybe just because they like the foam.
They like the foam, and if that's what they love, awesome.
Yeah.
So Loki's perfect in that way because you can use it both ways. You can use it as just a rinseless wash, but if you love your foam, you can foam it too. So
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Um, Another thing that we're talking about, aside from the Rinseless, is the fact, you talk a lot about being a teacher or being an educator. And
Yeah.
part of your banner, I think it says something like you are a consultant. So talk to me.
Consultation lounge is what I have on my banner. Yeah.
So are people, coming to your garage to ask questions, or what is the whole premise behind the
Yeah,
consultation lounge?
I do. I have customers, I'm teaching them as I'm detailing their vehicle or when they pick up
Okay.
how to maintain and stuff too. But I have people that come to me that buys products. I also do a lot of events in my town. I'm kind of in a small Midwest town. So we have all kinds of things like we have farmers markets, we have 4th of July bashes, we have car shows. And so I'm attending a lot of those. And one of the things I do is like I teach rinseless wash and they're amazed, just the average Joe Blow that isn't a detailer. Half
Yeah.
of them have never even heard of a rinseless wash and they're really skeptical. And so I actually do hands-on teaching with them and show them how to do it. And they're amazed. And so I sell a lot of stuff out of my garage as well.
So what are you selling? What kind of products? Are they your own, or?
I'm not going to fib and I'm going to be switching who I'm using, but I have some white label stuff. It's
Oh,
not,
okay.
it's
Okay.
not, it's not anything of my own. Although if my financial situation changes now that we have Thor blending,
I was just gonna say.
I, I I have a dream if I can get there financially of developing my own rinseless wash.
Oh, that's amazing. That would be
I
really
don't
cool.
know that I'll ever be able to compete with what Eddie's done, but that's my dream. I want to create my own rinseless wash. So
Yeah. Yeah. Chris M says, if Rinseless was the best, my local tunnel wash would use it.
oh
What do you
geez.
say about that? I don't know. I mean, again, when you think about a tunnel wash, okay, so this is an
Yeah.
interesting, Chris, that's interesting, actually,
Yeah.
when I think about it, because why are people going to tunnel washes? One, it's convenient, right?
Mhm.
For the most part, it's quick. Would you say that it's kind of a quick thing,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
So convenience and the fact that it's quick. Okay. Why would they not put something like a rinseless in a tunnel wash if it was so effective? And that's kind of that's a mind boggler, Chris. If it's safer for the cars and it's effective, probably because
But it goes back to what we were talking about earlier, Christy, is what a tunnel wash is trying to do, especially the touchless ones, is get a vehicle clean with just pressure.
yeah.
And
Well,
so in
and
order to do that, they're going to use the harshest
yeah,
chemicals they
yeah,
can
you're
so
right.
that it gets it clean. And you're not going to get a vehicle clean
Yeah. And
touchless.
yeah, and Paul, I agree. To be honest with you, I don't take my car through many tunnel washes. I mean, I do sometimes, don't get me wrong. Like there are times, but you come out and you see so many missed spots. Like there's so many blind spots in a car wash and it makes me so angry. So I usually then come out with my detailer, right? Like getting all the spots that, you know, the wash misses. That always bugs me. So yeah, they don't clean, Paul, not completely anyways.
So
And
I'll,
no, go
I'll
ahead.
be honest. I had a point where I did not have a pressure washer. Okay.
Oh,
That
okay.
mine died. Okay. So
Okay.
I had a detail that I had to do. You want to know how I did it? And I
I
used a
would love
tunnel
to.
wash. I pre-sprayed the whole car down. I took my
Okay.
keg with me in the car. I pre-sprayed my whole car down with rinseless and then went through the tunnel wash with just the basic wash, the bare bones, cheapest one.
Yeah.
And you'd be amazed how clean it came after. And then I took it back and did my contact and everything else. So
There you go. Hmm. That's quite interesting. I would like to do, and I think I've seen a couple videos. In fact, I know I have. I can't think off the top of my head who's done one, but I definitely have seen videos where somebody has gone through tunnel washes, but I'd kind of like to do that myself and then come back and look at the scratch factor because they beat your car up. I mean, I don't understand
no,
how more people don't
no, they
realize
don't.
that.
They don't always. I've had some of my customers. We have like 3 tunnel washes in my small town, and customers use them all the time. And my ceramic coating customers always ask me, "Well, can I go through the tunnel wash?" And I'll tell them, "Yes, you can. Just don't
Yeah,
make it a habit." But I've
yeah.
actually had customers that used it regularly that come out with damage because of the
Oh,
caustic chemicals, and
yeah.
they don't always regulate them right. And so even a tunnel wash can do damage. Look, if you go through your tunnel wash all the time, I promise you, look at your seals, your door seals and your window sills.
Oh yeah.
If you're doing it all the time, and tell me what
yeah.
condition they're in.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh no, I totally agree. It's such a controversial thing, but it's funny because again, I'll still go through one when it's convenient and I want to just do a quick wash really quick because I really hate for my car to be dirty. Like I don't like seeing a dirty car, but I don't, unless I'm doing a video, sorry guys, I hate to say it. I just don't wash it all the time. I'm busy. I don't know. You guys, this whole tunnel wash thing, I think it's quite interesting though. Definitely. And then they have the touchless ones, which I don't know if it makes much of a difference. The tunnel and then the ones that are completely touchless that don't have.
Yeah, and that's the ones I was talking about is the ones that are completely touchless. I would never, ever in a million years go through one with the brushes.
Yeah. But they look so safe. They look just like the ones I wash I detail the wheels with.
No. No, especially if you go through after a truck that's been mudding or something. Yeah. Do you think they clean those brushes after every?
Oh, no, disgusting, to be honest with you. So really quick, I wanted to talk a little more about you educating. You talked about like going to farmers markets. So what do you do? Do you set up a booth? And then
our farmers markets are real just casual. I park my truck there. I get out a table. I have the products that I'm selling. And then when I have a crowd, I actually will demonstrate a rinseless wash. I have my detail keg there with me, and I will actually show them how it works and how versatile it is.
That would be a great video. We're going to talk about your YouTube channel in a minute, but we are going to take a quick second to bring in somebody that you all know and love. So let's add him to the stage here.
Hello, everybody. Good to be on for the love of details with Christy Torres and Mr. Bobby. Mr. Bobby, how'd the weekend go, buddy? How's customer service?
It was fun. It was fun. It was busy.
Good. What we need to improve on going forward in Thor?
What do you?
Well, from a customer service perspective, what's the problem of the weekend?
The problem of the week.
The problem isn't on us. Let's just say FedEx is not being very kind with our package.
Shout out to FedEx. Well, I can't help FedEx, but I can help you with making some more orders and your deliveries. Because let me tell you something. We got this box, right? And we teamed up with someone real special for the month of July. And it's coming in hot. So if you ain't subscribed over there to Glovebox Detail, I'm telling you, there might be. Let me give you a sneak. You can't see it yet. It ain't July. So you got to wait a second. But what I can give you a sneak peek on is if you head over to houserags.com, look, we got 15% off. I'm talking about detail code. I'm talking about 15% off clean by pan. I'm talking about 15% off. This is the new brand. Christy, look at this. Look what we finally got.
Nice.
The Wake Eater.
Ooh, look at that.
Has been revealed. If you want the best fish safe boat soap, I'm telling you, the surfactants we use in this formula actually have a certificate of how readily biodegradable this surfactant is.
Wow.
Got to be the most biodegradable soap in the store now. And the Cleantool's got some real good burning stuff. But this soap it burns real clean, really readily biodegradable. I can barely say it.
It
Look,
cleans
Quiver,
really well.
15% off. Anyway, head over there to thehouseofrags.com. Stock up on your microfiber. 25% off, Christy. I'm talking a big 25% off. So head on over there, restock. Don't forget your Quiver foam cannon, all right? Get you a Quiver foam cannon. And subscribe to that glove box because there's a hot box for the hot month of July. All right, Christy, that's all I got.
I love it. Thank you, Jamie.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. I love that. A live commercial.
That was awesome.
Of a podcast. Jamie, this is his real calling. I don't know about you guys, but he was born to be like on TV. I swear.
He's who I want. He's the brain I want to pick as I try to really get better at doing my own YouTube stuff.
Yeah.
He just is. He's awesome.
Yeah. 25% off towels, 15% off what did he say? DetailCo, Pan. I mean, we got some great things going on at the
Yeah,
house
yeah.
with that, correct? Do you know when the sale, Eddie and Jamie, when does the sale go through? I know it's the 4th of July sale. When does it end? Do you guys know? Jamie, Eddie, chime in if you know when that
last I heard, it was undetermined yet, at least probably through the weekend. So
okay. So get it while it's hot. And yes, I hope FedEx is a little kinder. So I love that he just said, problem of the week. You guys need to have a board somewhere. It says problem of the week or problem of the weekend. Man, what is up with FedEx lately? I'll tell you what.
I don't know. They're not kind. I even got my own order this weekend, and the box was like.
I can definitely say it's not Thor. I don't know, but the orders that I have received, at least since the beginning of June, even prior to that, boxes are much better. They are being packed well. Like, it has been a total 180, I believe, in the packing. The whole package.
It's something that we're not ignoring at all, and we're constantly working on making improvements. So it's just.
Yeah, but you know what? I think it's with like UPS. I've had issues with UPS, and I'm not talking about Thor. I'm just talking about in general. I order a lot of stuff. I hate going shopping anymore. COVID ruined me. Like, just send it on over, But I've had problems with UPS, with FedEx. Forget the postal service, because they're absolute trash. Seriously, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, people like to just complain about. I've gotten stuff even from Amazon that's trash.
Yeah,
so,
it is. It's definitely. Oh, Eddie says the 7th. So sale going on, guys, till July 7th. Great things going on. Don't forget to get over there. Get your towels. Get your DetailCo, Clean by Pan, Quiver. Have you tried any of Pan's products?
Yes, I have.
Yep. How about John?
I love his sealant.
His sealant's good. Yeah.
I love his sealant. So
yeah. Have you tried Rogue yet?
Yes, I've tried Rogue. It's very good. Like I said, I'm not a foam guy, but that's it does really, really well. It's something that I would recommend for a lot of the mobile guys that want to do it, because it's really sun friendly. It foams really well. I picked up a cheap pressure washer to get me through for now, and I got the new Ryobi one for car detailing. Yeah. And I had a lot of people that have said, well, do I need to put the 1.1 orifice in it? No. I don't think so. The 1.25, especially with Rogue, is just killer. It works awesome.
That's amazing. So you do have a YouTube channel, you guys, Detail Oriented. Now, I will tell you, when we first, started talking, and I was searching Detail Oriented like crazy, and I'm like, what the heck? I cannot find this guy's channel for the life of me. So then I asked some friends, and I'm like, wait a minute. And I think it was Becca. Shout out to Becca Green. I think she's the one who found it, because it's DetailCarPro.
Yeah,
but it's
under. I don't know. I'm a YouTube rookie. The name of my channel is Detail Oriented, but that's DetailCarPro is kind of my tagline that I've used on a lot of stuff for a long time. So
that's what you have to search. And look, Becca just put it in the chat. Yeah, please go subscribe, people, if you have not already. Now, Bobby, I know you don't have many videos, but you have some.
Yeah, I have a few.
Tell you, the one that I watched one today. And I'm going to be honest with you. I think it was about the soap. You were talking about Rinseless, but your introduction was amazing.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm
like, it was like a whole commercial. I thought I was literally, so you're sitting here saying you need more videos. And I'm surprised you haven't done any of you doing this teaching, especially like at farmers markets, as we were saying, because
I want to try. I'm going to be straight. Like we were talking behind the scenes earlier, a podcast like this, I'm 100% comfortable. I mean, because I'm talking with you, I'm interacting. Where I'm struggling right now is just talking to a camera. And then I'm the typical detailer. I overthink everything.
Yeah.
And rather than just filming and keep going, I kind of got an idea from Cars with Keith. He does like those outtakes and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I learned from that if he screws up, he just kind of keeps going and does retakes and then edits it. But as I've been doing my videos, I'll all right, this is what I want to say. And then I'll screw it up and I stop and I start over. So it's a learning process for me. I'm going to get there. I just need to do it more.
Keith wants everybody, if you read here, to subscribe so that you can buy more expensive things and then let him review them. So please help Keith out, you guys, and subscribe to Bobby's channel. So that kind of leads us into our giveaway here, but I want to kind of go into it this way. So Keith just reviewed a detail keg.
Yep.
Was it your keg?
It was my keg. I had it sent to Keith. I sent it to Keith first because I knew he was the right guy to review it.
Yeah, it's called the True.
It's True Spray. It's an airless keg sprayer.
Yeah, which is, when you told me that, that's like baffling. So an airless, so you literally use the whole tank and you can use it in one go.
Yeah.
How is it? I'm gonna have to go back and watch that video. I've not watched it yet.
He broke it down really well. It's not cheap and it's not going to be for everybody.
Okay.
And I got a screaming deal on it because I was going to do a review on it. But it works really well for me, especially because I do the things like I'm telling you at the farmers markets and stuff. So I can fill that keg up with 5 gallons of Rinseless and do 4 or 5 cars with it, doing demos, and it works perfect for that. So
yeah, well, that's, I don't know, an airless keg. That sounds cool. Can you give me?
It's both. It's actually both. So you can, it comes with a pump system that you can use it that way, but it's set up that if you already have kegs or, you have the proper hoses and whatnot, you can use it like a regular keg and put air pressure in it and use it. So it's both.
Okay. Yeah. See, Becca says she wants to see a video of the farmer's market demo. I think I'm here for it, Bobby. We're all here for it.
All right. I'll see about putting it together.
Yeah, we're all here for it. So talking about a detail keg, let's lead into this giveaway here. We've been on for almost an hour. Bobby, it literally has been such
I mean, I don't want to keep you, I don't want to keep everybody long, but I'm good to go for however long. So don't worry about it.
So I'm going to let you guys know, Bobby is being super generous and he is sponsoring the giveaway tonight. Bobby, do you want to tell him what you are giving away?
Sure. So since I got my new True Spray keg, I have a spare. Now, guys, it's going to be used, but I think any of you that know me or follow me know that I take care of my stuff. So it's used, but it's in great shape. So I'm going to donate one of my regular kegs to the giveaway tonight.
So this is a detail keg. Now, is this one from Scott Graves?
It's from Scott Graves. Yeah, it's one of Scott Graves's. So I don't know if y'all heard that. Detail keg, gently used, well taken care of. What an amazing giveaway, sponsored again by Bobby, which is so awesome. Now, because of that, I'm going to make the question a little more difficult. I mean, this is it's a pricey piece of equipment here. Yeah. So I might make you guys do a little bit of research here. So here we go. In Yvan's garage audit with Bobby, I think this was posted maybe a month ago. Has it been about a month? Maybe a little less. Month and a half, something like that. Yeah.
But in the garage audit, I'm not sure if you guys watched it. I watched some people have their phone or their computer ready to go. They're getting on right now. Bobby was talking to Yvan about something that he gave his customers, and he called it a care package. And in this care package, he said that he gave goodies along with 2 other main items. What were the other 2 main items that he said he put in his care package? There are 2. Oh, somebody already got it. Look at this.
Yep, David got it.
You are absolutely right. David got it. I don't think I saw anybody else. Sorry. I hope not. Sometimes it's hard.
No, that was the first one. I saw a couple people say Rinseless,
but not both,
spray, but they didn't get both.
Yes. David, you are the lucky winner of a detail keg. Congratulations. That's an amazing win, you guys. So please, David, if you will email kaylintorres82@gmail.com, and Bobby and I will work together to get that sent to you. David, I do believe you are in the lower 48. I hope you are. I think so. Yeah. Oh, and Eddie said, I got one. Wait, you got one what? I got one I want to throw in for a giveaway. You got one what? What do you got? So Eddie has a giveaway. What do you got, Eddie, to give away? Gallon of Nemesis and Infinity. So is that a gallon of both, Eddie, or is that a 16 ounce of Infinity? Gallon of Nemesis and Infinity. Okay. Gallon of Nemesis and Infinity. Okay, here we go. Bobby said that yes, a gallon of both. All right, so this is for a gallon of Nemesis and Infinity. Bobby talked about the year, as he was thinking about it, the year that he started detailing. What year did Bobby say? Oh,
Mackenzie got it.
Mackenzie got it. You're absolutely right. He said 1996. Hello, Mackenzie. Haven't seen you in a while. Congratulations, Mackenzie. You won a gallon of Infinity and a gallon of Nemesis. Please email Kaylin Torres at 82. I'm sorry, Kaylin Torres 82 at Gmail. And then we will make sure to get that to you. Congratulations, guys.
Awesome.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love this chat. I love this platform. Thor is amazing. Bobby, you've only been there a month, but I can already tell you fit right in with the fam.
I'm truly blessed to be there. Like I said, it's not just a job. Eddie, Jamie, I'm not just saying this just to pump you up or try to ingratiate myself in you or whatnot. This is the honest truth. You two are the best bosses I have ever worked for.
Aww.
So
they
I mean, Thor is like a family. It's awesome. Yeah. And like I said, now that I get to stay in the industry that I love, it's just a true blessing.
Yeah. So just a small note, note Infinity, you got to use it wet.
You definitely got to use it wet. Yeah.
Bob? But look at then. Okay, Jamie just said Infinity dry. Now, Jamie, are you trying to confuse people here? What's going on?
You might get away with using it dry if you live in a swamp like Jamie, but
only if you live in the swamp. Yes, use it wet. And yes, Greg, if you guys haven't caught the podcast that Thor did, Jamie and Eddie with their chemist, was it last Thursday? Yeah, you got to go watch that. That was pretty amazing.
It was an awesome podcast.
Yeah, wet bro, use that much. Here we go. Conway says Bobby loves everyone but me. I'm a pain in the ass.
No, you're not, Conway.
That is hilarious. Yeah, definitely would be High Spot City. I agree. What is the way to go?
I'll teach everybody a little trick too. If you want to make it easier, it may affect the durability just a little bit, but if you mix Infinity with Lightning 50-50, it makes it a lot easier to work with, and it's an awesome combo. Okay,
wait a minute. I have I heard this? So mix 50-50 Infinity and Lightning.
Yep. 50-50 mix, and it makes it a little bit easier to work with and works awesome.
Huh.
Chelsea actually did. I actually got the idea from Chelsea because Chelsea did it on one of her videos, but she was mixing it with I'm drawing the blank now. It's Lightning, but the one they did for the fundraiser.
Yeah, Stay Strong.
Stay Strong, yeah. So she was mixing it with Stay Strong, but Lightning's the same thing, so just different color and scent. So
yeah, or just use it like it was intended. Wet, car, and dry. Whatever.
Hey, Eddie, I told everybody that when I share stuff, it's just my opinion. So
my opinion only. We've gotten a lot on that podcast, in my opinion. Oh my goodness, you guys. Well, again, thank you, Bobby, so much for coming on with me tonight. It is really cool, again, this industry, to get to talk to so many different people. In every realm of this industry. It's been amazing, and keep doing what you're doing, because you are now a part of Thor's customer service. And again, their customer service is top notch. And you are a part of that. And I totally love that for you. Absolutely amazing. I don't know that there's any other questions. So
yeah, I mean,
if you have any questions, we know who to call. Bobby at thehouseofrags.com. or email, right? That I don't have a number up here. Call him anytime. He'll answer all your questions. No, maybe not anytime. But so let's actually ask that though. When you are working, you said on the weekends, what are your hours? Jamie says
I work Friday in the evenings.
Okay.
I take over after Yvan leaves for the day. So I work Friday from like 5 to 10, and then I work all day Saturday and all day Sunday.
Okay.
8-hour shift, obviously, but you know
8 hours. Yeah. Jamie says definitely call Bobby. And I know sometimes you will fill in at DIY, right? Or have you?
I have. I wasn't really supposed to say that, but yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay.
No, he did not. Yes. And Rick says, don't wipe your John Deere seat with lightning, your ass light off. Really? Really? Is it that slick? Really? I don't know. I guess I don't have a John Deere to figure that out. Cars with Keeve, let's just call him up like Night at the Roxbury. Conway wants to know what your direct number is.
1-800-626-9259.
He needs to have a conversation. Jamie sent him some bunk. That's amazing. Oh my goodness. All right, guys. Well, I think we're going to end it there. Thank you again, Bobby, for coming on. Everybody else, have a great Monday. Enjoy the rest of your evening and the rest of your week. And I'll catch you all on the next one.
Take care, guys.
Bye.